Hi, I'm Joseph Friedlander. I'm a member of the World Economic Association, and I'm running for President of the United States. The reason I'm running is an economic crash is coming if current trends continue. Not just the current troubles, a no-kidding crisis. The political environment is going to become entirely different within the next year or two. Professional politicians have not put enough planning into what happens in time of crisis. They have no concept, no sense of history. I've written the Friedlander plan as a way out of this mess by having a ready fix, a drastic fix, ready when, not if, the crisis comes. The problem is that the very habits that caused the crisis have made thinking big about systemic ailments and systematic cures a non-starter in the current Washington vortex. In fact, for a career politician, this video would be career suicide, but I literally don't care. You, the American people, will either elect me or not. If elected, I will do my very best to save you and restore a solvent republic. Or you will not elect me, in which case you will probably get a bankrupt empire. But I will not lie to you as you've been lied to for generations, and I will not steal from you as you've been stolen from for generations. Oh, and by the way, I think our present campaign finance system is a rip-off and a racket, so there. That needs changing too. I have the expertise to save you, the authority and the ability to make decisions so tough that official Washington dare not speak their name, but I do not believe you can do good by embracing evil. With the technology of today, we can overthrow these corrupt billion-dollar campaign cycles. Obama changed the political game in '08 with the help of Facebook and Twitter. Unfortunately, his conversion to the Wall Street side was already complete by that time, but who knew? I believe that this cycle around social media, including YouTube, personal blogs, and with your help, Twitter and Facebook, there is no need to spend millions on a campaign of national liberation from the lobbies. This means you can actually have your country back without spending money. But there is a need for your help. I need you to volunteer. It could be blogging, campaign work, videos, voiceovers, or podcasts. If you have a talent, or not really, but you do have time, volunteer. If you're unemployed, volunteer to get your future back. It costs nothing to spread the word by Twitter and Facebook, and the jobs are not coming back until dishonesty and inside games are thrown out from both Wall Street and Washington. There are other candidates out there. If you ask me, I can tell you their virtues, but their sponsors are not your friends. You really don't have an election to waste. 2012 is the last stop on this train before the cliff. Whoever wins goes over the trestle, way before 2016. If you elect anyone else, you take your chances on them being literate and what to do in an economic crisis. Simple business expertise in normal times does not qualify you for riding the rapids of a panic, and service in Congress means they don't even know anything about normal hard times versus the killer depression we're headed for with business as usual. Your choice, folks. 2 bad years if I am elected, or 2 bad decades if Obama or his clones are. Now, a 4-point summary of our predicament. Point 1. The old U.S. economy is dying, choking to death on too much structure, nonsense, and blockage, and we have to clear the airways of the economy. Make meaningless the corporate owning of Congress. Lobbyists paid well to have our laws frozen in their favor, crippling small business in the process. Legalize rackets and monopolies in IP, law, education, medicine, that raise the prices to customers with no recourse, and you have no champion. The government that has no legal obligation to protect you. Look it up. Warren versus District of Columbia. Bowers versus DeVito. That same government will prosecute you if you try to conspicuously help yourself. Citations, fines, raids, confiscation of property. If I am elected, then that means doing whatever it takes to make it legally possible to make an honest living and live cheaply. Those 2 things are massively illegal in most cities today, as Kevin A. Carson points out. Point 2. Margin collapse. Carl Denninger of MarketTicker.org has pointed out how depressions start. What you can charge keeps going down, and what you have to pay keeps going up. People ask me about inflation versus deflation. Imagine both at once. Everything you buy gets more expensive. Everything you sell gets cheaper and cheaper. Point 3. All this means we need to massively cut everything causing our current predicament and the future crisis. We need to massively increase every resource, asset, and avenue of escape from this crisis. Cut our national outgo. Boost our national income. I'm not referring to taxes. I mean our national productivity, of which taxes are feeding upon, but are not the cause of. But you cannot do it through established businesses or the old way of doing things. It's tapped out. That pie is cut up long ago and handed out to insider friends. I have compiled a list of what we need to do, the Friedlander plan. This plan, incidentally, is compatible with the federationist.org platform, whose freedoms and responsibilities I find compatible with American constitutional traditions. Point 4. If we change the laws to let it happen, a new U.S. economy can be reborn. Lower energy bills, the right of bankruptcy, the right to be free from fraud in our financial dealings, the right to live cheaply, the right to start a business without harassment, to honest education, to honest medicine, to honest law, not cartel law, to honest titles in real estate, to honest government in your state and national capitals. Honesty is the bedrock of prosperity, and an economy founded on fraud will collapse. The current political state is so unsalvageable that literally we need to take the status quo in Washington apart and put a good new configuration in place today. This situation typically only happens once every 70 years, so we might as well get it right. The Friedlander plan, in one sentence: break the government down, build it up again, along rational lines, without all the points of contact the lobbyists are used to. The Friedlander plan includes, but is not limited to, the following reforms. There are over 1,000 grant-making programs in government today. I will not cut one of them. I will eliminate them all. Think about what I just said. Cutting will not fix things. In fact, make it worse, because the bureaucracy will still be paid and the stealing continue. Zero them all out, then build up a new structure, suited to the 2010s, not the 1930s. Of those 1,000 cash grant-giving situations, 100 of the cash transfers will survive, but I very much doubt a single one of those agencies will if I have my way. But those 100 will cover those who need help, and we have to prioritize in times like these, or people will die. There are literally thousands of government units in the federal government. I cannot eliminate them all because key government technical capabilities must be kept intact. Our nuclear weapons must be leashed and secure. Our spy satellites kept running. Our poor elderly kept from starving. Our helpless protected. But the present agency boundaries are not sacred and subject to a massive sorting. The government has literally hundreds of dysfunctional IT systems. Wherever possible, I will simply eliminate the agency that cannot do the job, solving the problem. Mercy in this case becomes cruelty to the taxpayer, and we've had way enough of that. Systemic accounting reforms. Fantasy statistics by government. Look up shadow stats. Look up U6 unemployment lies. Look up hedonic adjustments in inflation. You've been lied to. An end to lying and state-sanctioned fraud in non-transparent accounting sheets. Every panic since '87 has occurred because there was no way of verifying claims of some financial soundness. Let 1,000 banks be resolved, but not one retail investor be cheated. An end to unsecured lending, $1 of cashable capital for each dollar of risk. An end to opacity and lies both in Wall Street and Washington. A massive reduction in the culture of secrecy in the national security state, where 750,000 people with clearances can allegedly keep a top secret. The only people really in the dark are the voters. 90% of official secrets don't belong there, and it corrupts our entire system of government. Look at all the stuff that came out when they audited the Fed. You can't have government of the people, by the people, and for the people if the people don't know what's going on. An end to machine trading dominating our securities exchanges. Nightly mark-to-market and the posting of cash margin against any underwater positions. If we purge Wall Street of the cheaters, the honest businessmen will inherit the earth. We can begin reclaiming our besmirched national honor. Once America had the most honest markets in the world. If honesty returns, prosperity can follow. That's the essence of it, though the details could fill a book, and will fill the full Friedlander plan, to which this movie is the only introduction. And a key concept is, there is no big business in relation to recoveries. There is only small business. Jobs come from small businesses. Big companies outsource. Taxes come from small businesses. Big companies offshore profits, lobby for tax breaks, and literally get billions from the Treasury in net tax credits. Well-paid economists who have secure salaries month after month have no concept of the small business environment, where the government will not help, but will take everything you have if you make a mistake, and protection money like fees every day of the working year. The boss gets paid last, which is why so many storefronts are vacant. In a strange way, big business is a kind of extension of the government or vice versa. Many in Congress and top government posts are multimillionaires. Literally the same individuals end up in agencies and top positions of the government on corporate boards, especially between Treasury and Wall Street. Many companies literally write model legislation which they pay to have enacted through lobbying. Many companies literally write antitrust lawsuits for the government to hit their rivals with. Your tax dollars are paying to increase the profits of the connected. Even the government police power is misused on corporate say-so. Your tax dollars paying for government cops raiding our fellow citizens because Companies wrote and had legislation passed to outlaw some practice or other that restricts their profits. The government cop who confiscates a file-sharing computer is doing it because a corporate lobbyist helped pass legislation favoring his corporation. This should be mind-boggling. Only small business is real in the sense that it can't force the government to force you to pay up. If enough of you choose not to do business with a small business, if you boycott their products, they actually will go out of business instead of having the power to subvert the system, lobby themselves subsidies, exemptions in black-letter law, or literally threaten elected representatives through former board members, now back on the government side of the revolving door, with tanks in the streets. 600-1 with the letters opposing TARP and the related bailouts versus those favoring it. Yet trillions were given the very people who should have been out of business if justice had been done. Just from the reckless risks they took, first with other people's money, then with their own, then with yours. They lied to you, and persons both government and corporate. And now they talk about a federal solution, forcing the states to give up any hope of recovery from those who deliberately destroyed chains of title to a majority of American homes, including yours. That paperwork wasn't botched, it was done that way on purpose. The big corporations and the government are extensions of each other, and Congress is in the pocket of the big Wall Street corporations, and so are the presidential candidates. As of now, all of them take money as far as I'm aware, except me. I don't want your money, I want your time. Volunteer to work for my campaign. Get your future back. Friedlander 2012. Thank you.